DeepSeek Vee-Four is here, and the internet did the thing again, deleted Reddit posts, screenshots of benchmarks nobody can find, and half of Twitter calling it V4.1, a model that does not exist. What actually shipped in April 2026 is a preview of two models under an MIT license, with a 1 million token context window. One of them is a 1.6 trillion parameter monster. The question, as always on this channel, can you run it? Buckle up. So what is it? Two variants. DeepSeek Vee-Four Pro is a mixture of experts model with 1.6 trillion total parameters, but only 49 billion active per token. Vee-Four Flash is the little sibling, 284 billion total, 13 billion active. Both get the 1 million token context via a new hybrid sparse attention scheme that DeepSeek says cuts the KV cache to a tenth of the old V3.2, and both are genuinely MIT licensed, open weights on Hugging Face. Technically, it's still labeled a preview. Remember that word. Quantization is where dreams meet math. Flash ships natively as a roughly 160 GB 4-bit and 8-bit mix. Yes, the full fat model is already basically 4-bit. Community GGUF builds go from Q4KM at 172 GB, down through Q2K at 103, to an IQ2 build at 81 GB, the smallest one that actually works. There's a 1.6-bit build at 58 GB, but testers report it gets stuck in token repetition loops, which is a fancy way of saying you compress the brain out of it. Oh, and mainline llama.cpp doesn't support the architecture yet. Everything runs on experimental forks, including one from the guy who created Redis. Hardware time, and I'll be honest because that's the whole channel. Your RTX 3090 or 4090 with 24 GB. Number RTX 5090 with 32? Also no. The smallest working build is 81 GB, so the real entry ticket is about 96 GB across two workstation cards, or 128 GB of unified memory. Think a Strix Halo box, a maxed MacBook, or a Mac Studio with 192 gigs or more if you want breathing room. And Vee-Four Pro? 865 GB of weights, roughly a terabyte of VRAM, 8 H200s. That's not a PC, that's a mortgage. Real speeds, real machines. A Strix Halo with 128 GB running that crushed 1.6-bit build, 1 to 2 tokens per second, and it loops. A MacBook M4 Max, 3 to 6 tokens per second at short context. 96 GB of GPU running the 81 GB IQ2 build fully on card, 8 to 12. A single DGX Spark, 12 to 15. A Big Mac Studio Ultra on Q3 or Q4, around 25. And the current community flex, 2 DGX Sparks lashed together with 200 gigabit networking, 41 tokens per second at a million tokens of context. Impressive. Also, that rig costs more than a used car. Now the hype autopsy. The pre-launch rumors said Vee-Four demolishes Claude and GPT at fixing GitHub issues, sourced from a deleted Reddit post, which is the academic gold standard. Reality. The coding numbers are genuinely strong, but on SWE Bench Pro, it scored 55.4 against Claude Opus's 64.3. It hallucinates more on factual recall, and at launch, the chat model kept introducing itself as V3. And about V4.1, it is not real. DeepSeek did point releases for V3, so when Vee-Four shipped as a quote preview, people just assumed a point 1. Any Hugging Face repo wearing that name is mislabeled or made up. The only official models are Vee-Four Flash and Vee-Four Pro. That's it. Verdict: if you own a 24 or 32 GB gaming card, this model is not for you locally, and anyone telling you otherwise is selling something. If you have 128 GB of unified memory and patience for experimental forks, Vee-Four Flash at IQ2 or Q3 is a real, if leisurely, frontier-class model in your house. The sweet spot is a big unified memory Mac or dual Sparks running Flash, forget Pro, that's an API model, and at 14 cents per million input tokens, the API is honestly the sane choice for most humans. Sanity was never the point of this channel, though. That's DeepSeek Vee-Four, real weights, real license, phantom version number, and hardware requirements that treat your 4090 like a calculator. This has been Off the Cloud, where we tell you what actually runs at what speed on hardware with a name. We're doing every model, one by one, Next time, another contender goes under the VRAM microscope. Stay local, stay skeptical.